It's October time again, and unlike last year, I'm actually doing something relating to it! A few years ago, fellow reviewer Huey Toonmore suggested that I would devote time to a few werewolf movies that all came out in 1981. Of course, I held off on it due to conflicting issues with planning and whatnot, but not this time! This time, we're really going through with it. This month, we're looking at 3 werewolf movies for what is called a 1981 Werewolf-athon. Now to begin this marathon, we'll start with a movie that was released April 10th of that year, and we'll be going in order of eventual release. And of course the movie in question is called The Howling. Based off the novel by Gary Brandner and directed by Joe Dante, who you may recall did Piranha that we looked at years ago. This was the movie that would help further his film career with him doing Gremlins, Small Soldiers, and more. Not to mention his success with this movie becoming its own franchise that spans 8 films, and outside of the first, none of them he was involved in. And no, I'm not doing all of them. You can watch Obscurus Lupa do it, but not me. I'd sooner do all the buddy movies than sit through an entire horror franchise. I'll leave that to much more able and highly better reviewers than myself. After all, if this is the film that got Joe Dante more recognized, then I must see this for myself. With that, we begin our siege of werewolf movies with The Howling. The movie opens up with a little bit of exposition of what's going on. It seems a series of murders have been taking place involving a man named Eddie Quist, and currently a TV news anchor by the name of Karen White, played by Dee Wallace, is working with police to try and catch him, since it would seem he's currently stalking her. Apparently they agreed to meet at a porno theater, you know, before the internet shut those down, and the expected happens. Only in that early 80s quality that makes it fairly paced when compared to the fast action most horror films today go for.
We have a lot to talk about. You and me.
Can I turn around and see you?
Not yet, Karen. Just watch. She didn't feel a thing, Karen. None of them do. They're not real, the people here. They're dead. They could never be like me. But you're different, Karen. I watch you on TV. And I know how good I can make you feel. I'm gonna light up your whole body, Karen.
Oh god, it's a reverse Wolf Children scenario! Huh. Well, that was easy.
Terror ended early tonight in a bizarre shootout at a Western Avenue adult...
No knife, no gun, no nothing. The freak was clean. Now, what the hell happened back there?
Don't ask me, Lieutenant. Ask Quick Draw McGraw here.
Well, you know, there's still that thing called rape, strangling, head snapping with your bare hands. If he was attacking her, I would think that warrants at least one shot. Unfortunately for her, she gets amnesia, possibly from the trauma she experienced. So eventually, after having trouble getting back to her senses at work, her husband, named Bill, decides to take her to her therapist, named George, played by Patrick Macney, who recommends the two go to this colony where she can get treatment. In the meantime, we see some TV reporters, one being a friend of Karen named Terry, played by Belinda Balaski, who at this point is a staple for Dante's work, as they go examine the murderer's apartment for potential clues as to why he did everything. Also, it seems Piranha is canon in this universe.
Look at this.
Man, kid had talent.
could have designed the Marquis de Sade coloring book. I think we better call the cops.
We got ourselves a closet fairy. Okay, no, but that'd be a dumb police action. But wouldn't you know it? They go to the same therapist, so hopefully they can figure out more on this guy. And that place that was drawn? What are the chances that it be where this colony is that our main character is heading to? Now by this point, I should note the obvious. I have never read the book, so I wouldn't know every deviation they've made. The Wikipedia article does make some notes on what was changed, such as Karen and Bill's name change, what actually happened with Karen when meeting the murderer, some mechanics regarding the werewolves, and, well, the ending. I won't go over every detail, but whatever ones I feel would be important, I'll try to bring up.
Said once I remembered what happened, it wouldn't scare me anymore. I'm not so sure.
Honey, give this place a chance, okay? We gotta do something.
Well, I hope these people aren't too weird.
Oh, now that's not very nice, movie. Everybody knows not all Texans are like that.
That's right, 'cause we're shooting deers, drinking beers. That's how I roll. Yeehaw!
As Karen goes to get a tour of the place, Bill meets a rather attractive-looking Elizabeth Brooks, playing a woman named Marcia, who seems to have the hots for him despite him being married. Gee, knowing this is a horror movie, I wonder what she'll do later.
Bitch.
No. We can all learn a great deal from Marcia. She's a very elemental person. It's all that natural energy.
She's an nymphomaniac.
No. It's just that it's so uncharmed. She has a long way to go.
I don't know, Doc. I think everyone is a little in heat. Heck, even Earl, played by the late John Carradine, wants to get into that fire and end it all. Karen has trouble sleeping and keeps hearing the sound of a wolf howling. At this point, we know there's at least one other wolf man out there. It's just a matter of when it will strike and what it will look like. And of course, that classic 80s tension is there to build up suspense. Nothing in particular happens now, but the man in the bushes is making it very clear that you best not have your back turned or leave your house unlocked. She does apparently report this and gets what I think is the sheriff to come, who is just as odd as the other residents, but mostly due to his performance. Sam, as he's called, is played by Slim Pickens, and was in a lot of stuff beforehand, but I only remember him from this timeless bit.
Used to watch you all the time. You're a whole lot prettier than Walter Cronkite.
Oh, Sam, Karen thought she saw something moving in the bushes last night.
Well, now your coyotes is liable to come into a setup like this looking for garbage. Did you hear anything?
Me? Oh, I sleep like the dead.
Oh, and remember when Eddie got shot? Well, Terry and her boyfriend, Chris, go to the morgue to maybe examine his body, but uh-oh, he's gone.
Here this morning.
God, look at the door.
You don't suppose somebody could have stolen him, do you? Well, he didn't get up and walk out on his own.
Not unless he's a zombie, but then you're gonna tell me that Night of the Living Dead is canon to this universe too. Hey, I don't care if they're done by different people, I'd still believe it. That night, Karen and her new friend Donna hear more noises, so they decide to grab a rifle and go search out in the fog. With it, funny things occur, but still in the Dante way.
Oh, Jesus.
Stuck out here in the middle of Timbuktu someplace.
What's that gun?
God!
Sorry to scare you, ma'am. Thought you was a cowjacker.
Besides, who needs dogs? We got to
That boy's part blooded.
Nature Man, he is one with nature. Nature Man, he's half man and bees. He is their foreman, he is their Forbes, champion of the two worlds. Now here's something surprising. Terry and Chris are already starting to think of the possibility that Eddie might have been a werewolf, if his sketches of them, plus the nature of his disappearance, cause any connections, as they're looking into their history and crap. That isn't too bad of an idea, since at this point, unless it was just a matter of someone corpse stealing, this could be like a back burner thing for if no other leads are found. I mean, hey, just because it's fantasy fiction doesn't mean it might come true one day. And besides, all old stories have to come from some inspiration, after all. Meanwhile, Bill gets a lesson from the new Nature Man about how you should always eat what you kill, just like in Toriko.
Yeah, well, I never thought of it like that. The plate's just over there. My sister would be glad to cook it up for you.
But guess who?
I'll cook it later.
Damn, girl, you so horny. You so want his package. Bill ain't having any of that and goes into the woods. It's here we finally start seeing some of the actual effect work they do for the werewolves. Practical effects, the true way to do a horror movie at the time. The doc suggests that they don't go anywhere until the wound goes away, so Karen decides to call Terry up for company since Bill is likely going to be out for a while, especially since he's unable to do sex with her. Oh, but it seems like something is urging him to screw with Marcia after all. What follows is what can be described as a horror fan's delight. Yes, full frontal nudity, moonlight sex, but what else? Oh, yeah, there it is.
I would like to inform you all that we Worgen do not partake in such uncivilized behavior. We do it like this.
Okay. Anyway. Moving on! The next day, Terry begins to make a shocking discovery. That place that Eddie sketched is actually the colony! Which means the doctor must be in on this if he runs the place and didn't immediately tell her about it after seeing the sketch. Once again, we get suspense as she feels like she's being watched, and a mysterious voice draws her to a cabin amidst the fog. Now we know that stuff is about to get real, and all that's left is the payoff. Oh man, that is so gross. My skin is totally tingling right now. That is some creepy stuff. Though I must admit, I don't think I'd ever get too deep into the kind of horror films other reviewers I know love. But at least this is enough for me to stomach and really appreciate the effect it has. Also in the book, they apparently never transformed during the day, and when they did, they were just really bigger wolves. While here, they can definitely transform anytime, and in the usual anthropomorphic fashion. Though apparently they don't have regeneration, despite the earlier implication. Terry calls Chris and tries to tell him what she found, and even goes to look through Eddie's files when, of course, Eddie himself attacks in werewolf form. Despite her best attempts, she is unable to fend him off, and she dies.
Fella, those are real silver. I gotta check in with a jeweler to find out what to charge. Bill me.
I'd ask why not sooner, but who cares? We're going on a werewolf hunt, fellas! Karen eventually comes into the office, after having a bit of a fallout between her and Bill, to make a call and finds Terry's corpse. Soon, human Eddie appears and repeats what he did last time, followed by one hell of a transformation sequence. The only thing is that this must be painful for him to continually do this all the time. Then again, I think it would go faster if he was actually aroused, like Bill and Marcia were. Actually, I'm more amazed Karen didn't just run for it. She'd be out of town by the time he finishes transforming. Or she could have thrown that corrosive acid on him the entire time he was doing this. That would have worked best. However, as she does escape, the other members of the colony snatch her up and lead her to this barn where we get a little plot twist. They were all werewolves this entire time.
Stake to bring her to the colony.
We should have stuck with the old ways.
Raising cattle for our feed.
Where's the life in that?
The humans are our cattle.
Humans are our prey. We should feed on them like we always done. Screw all this channel your energy crap.
But the danger of exposure. We need this shelter to plan, to catch up with society. Times have changed, and we haven't. Not enough.
Shut up, Doc. You wouldn't listen to me. None of you. We can fit in, you said. We can live with them. You make me sick.
Marcia.
Oh, you're through, Doc. She's ours now.
1. If you wanted to find a way to fit in with society, you could have just asked Dracula at his little hotel in Transylvania. 2. How exactly were you planning to fit in on your own if this is what you would have done anyway? Right now, you pretty much are invincible just by existing. Even if we caught on and started using silver bullets, what are the odds of saving humanity in less time than it would with zombies? Well, this means even the Doctor is unable to contain their feral instincts now. Even he should have known that since he pretty much talked about it at the beginning of the damn movie. But luckily, Chris is here and is ready to kick some ass. And he let his gun be snatched when he wasn't looking. Oops.
What did you do to her? She's got a sexy voice. I like a woman with a sexy voice. Listen to this part here. Crazy. Oh, I'm much more than that, bright boy. I'm much more. Here. Take it. Come on. Come on, bright boy. Don't you know anything?
Now see, Eddie? This is why you don't play with your food, especially if it has a way of fighting back. But you're dead now, so that lesson doesn't matter now, does it? Chris confronts the others as they planned on setting Karen in a car fire as Nature Man begins turning into his beast side. And dead.
Get up, TC.
Oh, maybe I could still shoot him. Nah, I'm dead.
Come in closer, Doc.
Thank God.
Guess he really wanted to die. After locking the others in a barn, it's time to burn them down. Because I guess even regeneration is useless against fire. After 2 more werewolf kills, they get surrounded while trying to use the police car. Unfortunately, Karen gets bit during the escape. In the book, she lived to the end, but not in this version. So she decides that they would have to warn the world about this, and she does so the only way she can. Her job.
I know what you're thinking, because I've been where you are.
That's enough. Leave it.
And it's possible
Leave
to
it.
imagine.
Cut. Leave it!
But I have proof, and tonight I'm going to show you something. Make you believe.
Holy shit!
What is this?
Wow!
What are you kids watching?
The news lady's turned into a werewolf.
Oh boy.
La mujer se cambió en un lobo. Hijo.
Switch, damn it, switch!
Doesn't that look good?
Tender. Put a pepper steak on for me, will you? And a hamburger for the lady.
How do you want that?
How you want it, honey?
Rare.
Whew. Well, that was quite an experience. Not a bad start to this month, and quite an improvement from Dante's take on Piranha. Admittingly, while I only found a few named characters to be memorable, and the story about as simple as old horror movies go, it was all that was needed to bring in that good old-fashioned scare. Lots of tension, plenty of suspense, and all building up to plenty of good payoffs that if you were watching this at night, you'd be freaked out too. The practical effects were all pretty good, and some give off that creep factor that horror fans crave. Really, I think that's what it needed to obtain its likability and cult status. Just a good focus and working with it. You can tell some of these actors were having fun, and it isn't often you see some of the kind of actions and shots done for these. As far as I know anyway. If anything, this is a fine example of what can make a good scary werewolf movie. And now I know why Joe Dante got famous for it. And it can only get better for him. Maybe. But at least he has a name for himself. I'd say check this one out if you want something scary to watch this year. Bring friends or watch alone. Either way, do it all in the dark. Oh, but we're only just beginning. Come back next time where we head to New York for a different kind of werewolf movie.